This is the story of JoJo Siwa's dramatic, new hyperpop rebrand colliding with the reality of a massive lawsuit filed by her former dancer, Riley James, who claims she was forced into signing a $50,000 non-disclosure agreement to cover up a toxic, high-pressure, and allegedly cult-like work environment. The expectation that fans had for the Siwa cinematic universe was one of seamless, aggressive reinvention. But the reality, now exposed in court documents released on November 28, 2025, is a meticulous, legally weaponized machine designed to control the narrative at all costs. This isn't just about a disgruntled employee. It is a complex financial and moral dispute centered on the alleged exploitation of young talent and the immense power a celebrity wields with a single piece of paper. We will unpack the three core claims at the center of this legal drama. What were the allegedly manipulative tactics used by Siwa's inner circle that Riley James calls cult-like? Why was the specific figure of $50,000 used as a financial hammer in the non-disclosure agreement? And what legal precedent is at risk? And how does this lawsuit threaten to derail the carefully engineered multi-million-dollar rebranding of the global star? First, we must dive into the most shocking financial detail that allegedly kept this situation quiet for months. The most critical legal element and financial hammer in this entire case, according to Riley James's legal filing, is the alleged mandatory non-disclosure agreement. The contract, which all backup dancers and new hires were allegedly required to sign, contained a strict non-disparagement clause that carried a specific and crippling financial penalty. The documents submitted in the Los Angeles Superior Court on November 28, 2025, show a liquidated damages clause that demanded a payment of exactly $50,000 from the employee to Siwa's company for each and every public statement deemed negative or confidential. $50,000. This is a crucial, specific number because, as Riley James's legal counsel argues, it is an egregious and punitive amount designed specifically to silence a young dancer whose typical annual earnings, including touring and rehearsal fees, were reportedly far below that figure. According to the filing, the use of this massive financial threat allegedly created a work culture of fear, where speaking up about grueling hours, emotional abuse, or the alleged inappropriate management was simply not financially viable. For a dancer, $50,000 is a life-altering debt, effectively serving as an insurance policy for the celebrity's brand image, guaranteeing silence from low-wage workers. The suit argues that the clause is unconscionable and not a reasonable reflection of actual damages, but rather a tool for coercion. Legal statutes often require liquidated damages to be a genuine estimate of actual harm, and James's legal team is arguing that $50,000 is wildly disproportionate to the harm caused by a dancer posting a negative tweet, therefore invalidating the entire NDA on the grounds of being punitive. This is the definition of financial leverage being used for narrative control, ensuring that the only voices heard publicly were those approved by Siwa's team. The expectation was that NDAs protect business secrets. The shocking payout is that this specific $50,000 figure was allegedly used as a cudgel to protect a celebrity's reputation from any dissenting former employee, regardless of the truth of their claims. This alleged financial chokehold leads directly to the core emotional claims of the lawsuit, detailing the environment that necessitated such extreme contractual measures. Now, we must address the most shocking and damaging claim of all, the alleged cult-like environment. Riley James's suit alleges a pervasive atmosphere of psychological and emotional manipulation fostered by JoJo Siwa's small, tight-knit management team, referred to in the lawsuit as the Circle. According to James' complaint, the manipulation allegedly included mandatory team therapy sessions which were not confidential, where personal vulnerabilities and insecurities were recorded and later allegedly referenced or weaponized in professional conflicts to enforce compliance and loyalty. Furthermore, the suit alleges that the dancers were required to live in housing owned or controlled by Siwa's company, creating a total life integration where professional and personal boundaries were completely dissolved. The documents emphasize that this constant proximity and control made it nearly impossible for the dancers to maintain independent personal lives or seek outside counsel for employment issues. The lawsuit also claims that meal plans and personal appearance standards were rigidly enforced, blurring the line between employer direction and personal control. Allegedly, any disagreement with the creative direction, a complaint about the schedule, or even expressing personal fatigue resulted in immediate isolation, severe professional penalty, and the threat of termination, and thus the trigger for the $50,000 NDA breach. This alleged system, Riley James claims, was meticulously designed to enforce unwavering loyalty and conformity under the guise of team cohesion and wellness, and she argues it closely mirrors emotional control tactics associated with high-control groups. JoJo Siwa's public statements, released on November 30th, 2025, vehemently deny any form of toxic manipulation, stating, quote, "We are a family, and we work hard to support each other's mental health and success," end quote. Siwa's lawyers refer to the mandatory sessions and communal living as standardized wellness and team-building practices common in the high-pressure world of performance. The expectation from the public was that the dance teams were simply high-performing professionals. The shocking payout is the allegation that the intense loyalty demanded by the rebranding effort may have crossed the line from professional expectation into deep, personal, and potentially harmful emotional control, all allegedly designed to maximize the brand's creative output. This level of psychological management was necessary because of the creative demands placed upon the young performers. This deep control was allegedly necessary to enforce the extreme creative shifts demanded by the celebrities' pivot into the hyper-pop, spicy, adult-adjacent space, which required a complete 180-degree turn from her decade-long family-friendly image. Riley James's claims shine a harsh spotlight on the tremendous pressure placed on the entire team to execute this pivot flawlessly and with maximum shock value. The lawsuit alleges that the dancers, many of whom were still legally minors when they were first hired, were reportedly pushed into performing highly suggestive choreography and wear provocative costumes that made them deeply uncomfortable, often contradicting their own personal values or the expectations of their families. The suit claims this was done without proper, ongoing, age-appropriate consent protocols, and that complaints were immediately shut down by the management, who allegedly insisted that the dancers' discomfort was a necessary artistic sacrifice for the brand's success and virality. James's lawyers argue this amounts to exploitative labor practices aimed at maximizing the controversy and commercial appeal of the rebrand, claiming that the dancers' personal image and comfort were treated as expendable commodities. The core of this issue is the financial valuation of controversy. The rebrand was a calculated business risk designed to inject Siwa into a more lucrative and headline-grabbing wicket. The suit alleges that this value was directly extracted from the psychological discomfort of the supporting cast and then silenced by the threat of the $50,000 fine. Furthermore, the legal documents allege a significant breach of California labor law, which has specific regulations regarding the employment of minors in the entertainment industry, arguing that the intense hours and failure to provide independent counseling violated those child labor protections. The expectation was that the rebrand was simply a creative evolution. The payout is the revelation that the creative pivot allegedly involved the ethical compromise of demanding young employees participate in acts that generated controversy and then silencing them with the threat of a $50,000 fine when they objected, potentially violating several state labor laws. The immediate financial fallout from this lawsuit is not merely the potential settlement cost, but the direct and catastrophic impact on JoJo Siwa's highly lucrative long-term endorsement and licensing contracts. The Siwa brand, even in its new hyper-pop form, relies heavily on sponsor and corporate alignment, particularly for lucrative merchandise, toy lines, and large-scale live tour deals that are pre-sold years in advance. According to an entertainment lawyer quoted by Variety on December 1, 2025, the allegations of, quote, cult-like behavior and the emotional exploitation of minors and the weaponization of an unethical NDA could immediately trigger morality clauses in multiple long-term contracts. These clauses are the insurance policies for corporations, allowing brands to terminate lucrative agreements without penalty if a celebrity's conduct brings public scorn or involves illegal or unethical activity. The exposure of a toxic work environment and abusive financial tactics is a brand poisoning event, especially when the employees involved are young. The lawsuit specifically names several major corporate partners, arguing that these companies allegedly failed in their due diligence by ignoring earlier public whispers of the toxic set environment. By dragging the corporate sponsors into the public eye, Riley James's team is attempting to maximize the leverage by threatening Siwa's revenue streams beyond her direct content. The pressure mounts as the lawsuit directly targets the multi-million-dollar structure that enables the entire Siwa brand to exist, potentially costing the star hundreds of millions in future licensing deals and diminishing her brand value for the crucial youth market. If James succeeds in proving the NDA is punitive and void, it could set a major legal precedent against the use of massive liquidated damages clauses in the entertainment industry for non-disclosure. In summary, the lawsuit filed by Riley James exposes the deep, often invisible fault lines between celebrity image and the messy, high-pressure reality of their business operations. The expectation was a smooth, well-funded creative pivot. The reality is a legal and moral crisis centered on an aggressive non-disclosure agreement and claims of emotional and financial manipulation. This case serves as a powerful reminder that while the creative industry promises stardom and empowerment, the legal and financial leverage almost always belongs to the person writing the checks. The alleged use of a $50,000 penalty in the NDA, the cult-like claims, and the alleged exploitation of young dancers for the sake of a viral rebrand all point to a disturbing new trend in managing celebrity controversy through aggressive financial threats. The business of celebrity is the business of narrative control, and the bigger the star, the bigger the financial hammer they allegedly wield to guarantee silence. This lawsuit is designed to break that silence and challenge the legality of these one-sided contracts.